Combat Volume 2. This is your review for you. Good day, my name is Joe. Today I'll be going over Combat Volume 2 and how it plays, well, a little bit solo. Now this won't be a full overview of combat. If you want to see my full overview, you can watch my other video. But it's just a kind of a mini review on Combat Volume 2 on what it adds. It's going to add 6 extra maps that you're going to be able to play on, which is really great for something like this. I think that brings it up to, man, it has to be 10 or 11 maps or so. A scenario book. It adds vehicles. It adds some tanks. It adds some transports. It adds some of the anti-vehicle firing. Just some cool stuff. But my favorite thing that this adds is a campaign mode. I don't remember how long you'll be going through. I think it's 11 months, it looks like. And it's just kind of interesting. You're gonna build your squad at the beginning. You're gonna load them up, and you're gonna ship them off to Normandy. And it's just kind of, you play through 11 months of the campaign, and it kind of builds a story. There's already story in this game, kind of the XCOM style, like I said. Except you get names on the side, and you actually build these characters up this time. I wouldn't say it's like an RPG, but they do get better skills. There can be infighting. There can be enemies on your squad. It just it kind of builds that band of brothers that I was kind of looking for in this game. Multi scenario. What's going to happen? They can go into the reserves for weeks at a time, get sent to the front lines, get sent back to the reserves, and it's kind of like what happens to your group of people? What happens to your group of, I believe it's 11 to 12, just members of your squad? Do they get injured? Do they, like I said, build a story. The maps are all very interesting. The scenarios are really neat. The tanks themselves a little bit fiddly. Once again, that kind of comes with the war game territory. Really slows the game down once you kind of have to get to some of these points. The tanks can run a certain way, then they can point a certain direction and fire, and it's just a little bit more tedious, a little bit more overhead. But for the most part, Combat Volume 2 just adds a lot onto Combat Volume 1. It also adds special enemies, so enemies that have a little bit more character, that are a little bit better than some of these out there. Can kind of give you kind of like I don't want to say a boss, because nobody's like necessarily a boss. They're all just a little bit micro, either better or worse than the average, private. But it is kind of interesting just to see some of those out there, some of the different weapons, some of the different tactics. The scenarios have you play on different parts of the different maps. Like I said, there's endless on these maps. These maps are huge. Like I said, I have 11 now with the base game and Combat Volume 2. But I do just want to say that Combat Volume 2 is an expensive, expansion, if you will. It does cost a lot of money for what you may get. I like the maps, I like all this, but you have to really enjoy Combat Volume 1 before you really invest in Combat Volume 2. Make sure you play at least the 5 scenarios of Combat Volume 1 to determine if you want to get this. I would not get them both at the same time. There's a lot to it. Like I said, the campaign is my favorite part that this adds. I think I'm 5 battles in on the campaign for this. Just saw my first vehicle, and like I said, it was just kind of neat. It did slow combat down, but it's a lot more of the same. So if you're looking for more of Combat Volume 1, this is where you want to go. Would not pick both of these up at the same time, but once again, the building of the squad through a campaign has been really cool for me, and I've really enjoyed that aspect that this adds. So just want to do a quick mini overview of what Combat Volume 2 adds and if it's right for you. But my suggestion, play Combat Volume 1 at least 5 times to see if this is a good expansion for you. So hope you guys enjoyed the review, and until next time.